Trading room and the U.S. jobs report. My name is Lee Goldstein. I'm the trading director at 10 Minute Trades. I want to welcome everybody here. Say good morning. Remember that all trades are for educational purposes. It is possible to lose money trading futures, so please trade wisely and trade carefully. All right, let's get started. I'm assuming everybody can hear me just fine and you can see the screens. Okay. I want to welcome our YouTube members. So if you like what you see, give us a like, subscribe to the channel. So I think what I'm going to do this morning, let's look at a couple of videos. I've got gold 421 on the left, and I've got bonds 321 on the right. Bonds are milder. They don't move as much on this report. Gold, the issue is definitely it's a higher risk, much higher risk trade. Possibility always exists for not getting your fills if your targets are hit. It's possible that you might not get filled with gold more so than with bonds. So it's a difficult decision which report index you want to trade. Now, many different things move on this report. We have chosen the ones that we've been trading for a while and they've had success. So let's look at January's report. I have been trading bonds for a long time. And last month, pretty sure it was a stop out last month. So bonds are on the left. And they shot up and did not follow through. The news was very mixed also. The job numbers were very negative, and it really should have been a good report. The unemployment rate was positive, though, and that possibly created the chaotic result. Now, some people did make money on gold. They were able to catch the first move on gold. I definitely recall that some people in the room did make money on gold. But that was not an easy month to trade the jobs report. And then December 4th, see if this video is working properly. December 4th. Gold is on the right. Bonds shoot up. Now, in some ways, I would say that that was a lucky win, because the news was very good and bonds went up, as did gold. I take it back. I apologize. The news was bad. Only 245,000 were created. So no, it went the right way. It went the right way. Reversed quickly on bonds, gold. Looks like it had a better move. Okay, there's gold. It shoots up. Gold had a pretty strong move. Then if we look at November, everything reacts kind of slowly. The news was good, more jobs. Actually, news was bad, more jobs were lost, 630 versus 600. Gold and bonds go the right direction. All right, so you can see, but it was tough to get much money because the move was not very big on bonds. October was a stop on gold. And bonds was a no fill, and gold was a whipsaw. Gold went up and down, which would have been a stop out. See, it happened so fast too. Very hard to see. And we'll look at one more. September. News comes out on time. It was the non-farm payrolls was actually positive. They were expecting 1.4 million, and it was 1.37 million. Bonds went the right way. And let's just look at gold one more time on that one. 830. So one of the problems that you have with gold is the pre-trade volatility. That was a trade that had so much volatility before the trade. You might not have traded that. Look at that candle before the trade. That was nerve-wracking, right? That's a very big candle. And then it just continues to explode. The news was negative, gold news was positive. So here's what's interesting. So they were expecting 1.4 million, they got 1.37 million, okay? So it was good news. Gold's initial reaction is the wrong direction, and then it eventually, it's just very choppy. It eventually corrects though and goes down. But it looked like you could have had that first move, that candle could have filled your targets if they weren't too big. So I'm going to keep the news. Just looking at both, Liz, it's too difficult to trade both at the same time. This trade could require too much management. I have both. I'm going to set up both trades so that if I was planning on trading gold, and I think that there could be a way to make gold a little bit safer by adding a contract. Here's what I would consider with gold. So prices are valid because gold moves very big, but gold has shown a tendency also to move in two directions during this trade. So you could add another contract if you wanted to. In other words, this is high risk trading though. Don't forget, this is one of the highest risk trades because it's so volatile. So it's important to just understand if you trade this, the risk is high. I'm going to record it. I truly don't know what the numbers are going to be. I don't think anyone really knows what the numbers are, if they're going to be good or bad. The ADP doesn't necessarily mean that this report's going to be good because ADP had more jobs created in payrolls. With gold, you've got an outside 30 tick target, which is very big. A second target, a first target of 15. That's big also for a first target. But if you see, the moves are very big, but it moves very fast. And the January report may not have hit your targets, or it may also have filled the 15 tick target and not the 30, even though it moved 58 ticks. Okay. What's interesting is ADP was better, okay, as a jobs report, but again, doesn't really affect this. So the difficulty with gold is the volatility, the liquidity. Those are variables that can affect the trade, okay? One thing you can do to possibly make a gold trade somewhat safer. First, the bracket is 12. It's a big bracket, okay? The bracket is large. If you I would trade, if I was going to trade gold, I would trade 3 contracts. And I'd make my first target 7, my second target 15, and my third target 30. That way, if you just get a small move and it reverses on you, you might be able to get out with a small profit and live to see another day. The stop is 20. And the entry time is 8:30. And then I like to label the trade because I have a bond trade set up. GC jobs. And we can save the template. GC jobs, 3 contracts, February 5th. And I want to make sure my correct account is set up. Okay. So I'm just watching. Gold's going to open at 820. Check my trade. Bracket of 12. 1 target of 7 ticks, 115, 130, stop of 20. Real account if I'm trading it. The only reason I like trading bonds on this trade is because it's stable. In other words, gold is really difficult. I mean, that's the truth. It's a very hard trade. If you're, if you get a jolt in one direction, then it's a great trade. It's really good. Bonds, sometimes they just don't move very well. That's the big problem with bonds. So you have to trade extra contracts. You're only getting 9 ticks, 8 ticks, 9 tick, 8 tick moves. They're small moves. So I was planning on giving gold a shot because it's been so long since I've been trading gold. And gold actually has been trading better just through the last couple of weeks. The last couple of weeks, gold's been trading better. Good morning, Dave. So we'll see how volatile that gold open is. And that'll bracket of 12, 1 target for 7 ticks, 1 target for 15, 1 target for 30. Entry time is 8:30. It's a breakout trade. And I have the trade labeled. Going to the website time.is to check my time. My computer is in sync. And then the bond setup. What I'm doing on bonds is 3 targets for 5 ticks. And I'll tell you what might make sense on bonds is 2 targets for 3 ticks, 2 targets for 5 ticks, and 1 target for 8 ticks. That might make the most sense on bonds because that's how bonds has been moving. And the stop is 6 and the entry time is 8:29:59. That is a setup that relates very well to the way bonds have been moving on this trade. Okay. It's the way bonds have been moving on this trade. That's why I like that setup. Let me check. Thank you. Let's check my profits on bonds. So I've got 2 for 3, 2 positions for 5. Whoops. I think 10 is probably too big. It probably should be 8. It hasn't moved 10. It hasn't moved 10 in 6 months. So let's make the targets reflect the way the report's really been moving. Thank you, Juan. So I'm watching bonds, okay? I'm going to have it set. So if at the last second I don't like the way gold looks, I can switch over to bonds if I want to. I can't trade both. It's too much. It pushes the margin. Gold's a big bracket. Our first target, fairly small. Only looking 7 ticks. So you got to, it's definitely a difficult decision what you want to trade. The gold open was not that dramatic. I think they're always waiting for this report. So I've got my news off to the side, and the most important numbers are the non-farm payroll numbers. And they're only looking for 50,000 jobs to be created. So there's certainly an opportunity for a big difference in the news. And the unemployment rate is 6.7. The unemployment rate definitely has a big effect on the results. So who out there is trading with me? Anybody trading? I want to thank everybody for coming. Mike, you're trading. Paul, you're trading. DB, I think ZB is an interesting choice. I think ZB is an interesting choice. What's your setup? What's your bracket? Are you trading that live? Hey Ford, I didn't see any emails or anything. Ford, let me use that, Ford. Okay, so look, folks, I can lose $600 to $800 on this trade. That's what we're willing to risk. We're willing to risk it. It's part of the game, okay, of these trades. I'm trading 3 contracts. It's a 20 tick stop, okay? $600 at a minimum. It could always be a little higher than that, okay? It can be higher. If you're trading these types of reports, you know what the risk is, okay? I know what my risk is. I don't want to get stopped out in front of people, but we like our system. We like the way it trades. And this jobs report always has a good opportunity. So it doesn't mean that our system is lousy if I have a bad trade, because we have a lot of good trades. So it's very important to just keep perspective. That's all I'm saying. Keep your perspective. Now, it's a 10-second cancel, okay? For gold, and it's a 10-second cancel for bonds. And you should follow the cancel rules. If the news doesn't come out or it doesn't move in 10 seconds, you're supposed to cancel. That's the rule. So we have 45 seconds. Five, 7 seconds, 7 seconds, 5 seconds. Okay, beautiful. $520. Look at bonds, we're just as good. So patience, patience, patience. I'm not taking a reversal after I make $520. So maybe you could say I made up for the crappy trading I did yesterday by coming up with what I think was a very, very smart way to trade gold. I had the ability to get out of that trade really fast with a profit. And we have this recorded. Bonds just as good as gold today, I think. And we'll take a look at the video, because you never know with this candle moving down. If you were patient, you made money. Okay, now I never am patient. I was patient today. Why did the trade work? First, cancel your trade. Cancel your trade, remove your trade, if you're done and you can see your targets. Let me take a picture. It's a very nice profit. I love finishing the weekend with a winner. The reason the report worked, you know what, folks? Because the unemployment rate was so good. That's what made this report, the unemployment rate. It wasn't the payroll number, because the payroll number was slightly negative, slightly negative. I'd be very careful about reversals. Wait for a signal for the squeeze to change color. Don't do what I did yesterday. I traded emotionally and I made almost all of it back today. I'd like to see who made money, and I'd like you to send me a picture of your screenshot, because it helps us very, very much to keep our members, to get new members, and we really appreciate it. Paul, what did you trade? What did you trade? Oh, so Paul, here's my worry about MGC. Here's my worry about MGC. Liz, you're just on fire, Liz. Liz, you're on fire. But Liz, what I need, Liz, watch how I take this picture. Watch how I take this picture. I need the money with your account, and I'll take your account out. I need the money showing like this, so people can see that I made money, okay? NFP, non-farm payroll, is U.S. jobs, U.S. jobs. So let's talk. So does everybody understand why it was a winner? Why was it a winner? The job number was only 49,000. It was only 1,000 different from 50. That is not enough to move bonds the way that it did, okay? It's the unemployment number, 0.4% better than expected. Calvin, check your Mike. Okay, let me show you. Calvin, check your time entry. Check time entry. If your money is not showing, right click in the blank area of that chart trader panel. Click on properties and check show gross realized P&L. Yours is unchecked. Show gross P&L. Now it'll show. Apply it and okay it. Okay? Apply it and okay it. So one more time, MGC is too hard to trade. The private numbers don't have as much of a meaning, obviously. They just don't have that much meaning, Chantal. It is a big offset, but it's the unemployment rate. You could just show two numbers on this report: non-farm payrolls, unemployment rate. That's all you need in general for this report, okay? That's all you need. So I want to talk about why the setups were intelligent. Now, the bond, you always want to make your setup on a risky report as good as possible, so that if it's a small move, you can get out with a small profit before it reverses. Okay? Before it reverses. So what I did with gold, and I'm going to put my charts in sim, okay? Because I don't want to accidentally enter a trade. The reversal didn't work today. Bonds were awesome. Bonds were awesome. Let's look at the video. Let me save the video. But so what I did with gold, I've been noticing, and you've got to go by what you're noticing, that gold has had big reversals and big moves. So it makes sense. Make your first target small. And it hasn't been filling well. Gold has not been filling well. So make your target, your first target small. So if you get a report where you don't get a good fill, you're certainly going to get your first target filled because it's small. And we did the same thing on bonds. We had 6 months of looking at daily reports, 6 months of looking at the reports with bonds, right? Today is an outlier. Today was a huge move on bonds. It's never moved on bonds this way in 6 months. So make your first target 3 instead of 5. Make your second target 5. Make your third, then you could make your third target 15. So if you get that outlier move, but really it made more sense to make your third target 9. I mean, that's the truth. And you would have been out of the trade with all targets hit. Yeah, I actually prefer email. Chantal, can you type me the question? I can't see it. I prefer if you send me your money-making charts in email. Calvin, reboot. Calvin, reboot. Reboot. Please, I don't know anything I would like to learn. Please, can you help me? Chantal, tell him to please go to our website, 10minutetrades.com, and sign up for the free weekly. And Calvin, send me your machine ID and I'll get it checked over the weekend also, just in case. Chantal, ask them to please go to our website and join and sign up for the free weekly schedule. Okay, free weekly schedule. So I'm glad that a lot of people made money. That's awesome. Mike, thank you. Did anybody, so Paul, you're better off trade 1 contract of gold. Just trade 1 contract of gold. Kent, we stopped trading ZB after we had 3 stops in a row about 1.5 years ago. But ZB, let's go into SIM. I've been looking at ZB charts. Let's look at some charts just to show you today. I'll bet you everything worked today. ZB, beautiful, beautiful. 6J, the Japanese yen, which is a nice instrument to trade on US news, beautiful, moves usually the opposite way. Okay. Gold, we know work. ES, another good index to trade this type of news. Look at the ES, difficult, right? Gigantic wick, gigantic wick. But Kent, so we stopped trading ZB when it stopped working, and I think it might be possible to consider ZB again, I think ZB is working again on this trade, and we might, but the way that bonds traded, let's look at the video. ZN is much safer than ZB because the liquidity is fabulous and ZN has lower liquidity. So you can add contracts with ZN. The margins are low also. So look, I had a very lousy trading day yesterday because I traded emotionally. Today, I came into this room. I didn't sleep the whole night. Very honestly, I was very upset with myself. I ruined my birthday yesterday by trading like an idiot. And I was absolutely intent on trading intelligently and patiently today, and that's what I did. Watch bonds. Bonds just explode up. They had maybe a 2-tick move the other way that would not have filled us. Okay. Before the trade, bonds was 0-0. They moved down 1 tick, and then they just shot to the heavens. And it was an easy, well, you know, bonds are a little crazy. If you look what happened, it went down. But the naked eye doesn't see that. Let me see if I'm right or if I'm crazy. Let's see. Did it go below? Yeah. See, after the trade, it went a tick below 200. The naked eye might not even barely have seen that. But you already hopefully would have been filled. Did anyone trade ZN? Did someone trade ZN live? Ah, okay, Kent, you traded it for 5 ticks. Okay, that's it. Did have a move that you couldn't see. Juan, did you make money on ZN? You made money on ZN, right? No, no, Ford, just one, just one. The at Ford means that it's a private message. Private message. So Juan, please send me your, everybody send me screenshots by email. Everybody send me screenshots by email, okay? Everybody that made money, everybody. I don't care what you traded, because you're here with us. Email help at 10minutetrades.com. Help at 10minutetrades.com. Ford, no problem. You know I like helping. Help at 10minutetrades.com. So this was very important. Let's talk psychology for a minute. Can we talk psychology for 1 minute? So look, everybody that was in the room. So we saw gold work. We saw bonds work beautifully. ZB, ES, not so good. Not so good. Look at gold. Gold, watch. It hit my first target before you even blinked. So we were safe in 1 second. We were safe. And I did not rush my stop too close to the current price, because I know this report can reverse. But I did protect my 2 targets. Okay. I did protect 2 targets. You could see slowly getting ready to move my stop, waiting for that second target to get hit. Gets hit. Now I move my stop to break even -1. Okay. Bonds would have been a happy trade too. Would have been a happy trade too. All right. Point being, I wanted to talk psychology just for a second. When you do foolish things, and even professional traders do foolish things, it's part of trading. You can torture yourself 24 hours if you have no other trades. All right. I'll allow you to torture yourself for 24 hours if you trade foolishly. But you must use those 24 hours to start thinking positively and thinking about why you did what you did and why you're not going to do it again. I've been doing this for many years, and I've had maybe 4 episodes of foolish trading live in the room. 4 episodes of foolish trading live in the room with years of doing this. I'm not bragging. I'm saying you can do it if you use that stupid episode of foolish revenge trading to reflect and to learn and to plan your next trades so that you don't do it again. And I'll go another year. and then I'll do a stupid thing again, because every trader is emotional. It's just part of life. And exactly as Mark says, you make the mistake again eventually, but it's all about reducing the frequency of the mistakes. Mark is one of my favorite traders because at the right moment, he comes up with the right thing to say. But you must reflect on your errors and get your head right, get your psychology in a good place, and don't be afraid to take the next trade. If I was afraid, and folks, my heart was in my throat, I don't have to lie, my heart was in my throat, but I'm a happy person. Our account is over what it started at, okay? And yesterday I traded foolishly, but today I'm back to normal. And now we have a great week coming up next week. And you just go on. Resilience. Absolutely. Absolutely. Here's the schedule for next week, everybody. First of all, does anybody want to ask me anything? There's a lot of people here. I'll field any question. I'll stay as long as anybody wants any help. And let's look at next week's schedule. If I can find it, that's always the hard part. Next week's a little bit quiet, but good trades. A little bit quiet. Trades that I like. Putting my charts on Sim. All right. So I have one goal for next week. I want to find a JOLTS trade. I want to find a JOLTS trade. Haven't been able to find one, meaning a setup. Have not been able to find a JOLTS setup. Can't find one. Gold hasn't been working. ES hasn't been working. It's been a very difficult. I want to find a setup for JOLTS, Liz. It's a jobs type report. It moves markets, but we haven't been able to find a setup. We have WASD on Tuesday. We love WASD. 10-year note, Tuesday. API Tuesday. Watching the Chinese PPI. It's the monthly Chinese PPI that moves the best. Wednesday, core CPI. This is a difficult setup, one of our hardest trades. Crude oil. It's been one of our best trades for the last 2 months. And I'll fix my mistake. Tuesday is not the bonds. The bonds are Wednesday and Thursday. And let's check that. So look, I noticed a mistake because I did the schedule yesterday. It's not final yet. So I'll go to investing.com. I'll look at next week's news. Okay. I'll look at next week's news on investing.com. My mistake was I said Tuesday was 10-year bonds. Tuesday is WASD. Wednesday. Now, if the bonds don't show up, okay, but they do, 10-year is Wednesday, 30-year is Thursday. 30-year, okay? So you can use investing.com, FX Street to check your schedule. So my schedule had an error. Thursday, just watching this OPEC monthly report, I might take that off the schedule because I can look at the previous dates on that. I haven't had time to do that yet. We have unemployment claims, natural gas, which I'll redeem myself, and 30-year bonds on Thursday. And then Friday, all we have Friday is preliminary University of Michigan. Let me issue a warning about the British 2 a.m. Friday trade. There is so much news that morning at the same time, I would not take that trade. Okay. There's too much news. There's about 7 reports. That makes for inconsistent results. Okay. Inconsistent results. So next week, a lot of solid trades. There's solid trades. There's not a lot, but they're solid. I'm okay with that. Reversal did not work today, folks. The market loves this news. The market loves this news. Okay. All right. Everybody have a safe weekend. Does anybody have a question for me before we go? Dave, absolutely. 130 bucks is still money. If your stop was too close, you learn, right? You learn. This report chops a lot. It chops a lot. Yeah, DB, there are still some mini DMMs. Yes, you'll see them. You'll see them. Capacity utilization. Thursday jobless claims is a mini. Mike, you have a nice weekend yourself. Thursday jobless claims is a mini. It's sort of a semi-mini, DB. But we'll have some minis. We'll have some minis. I have not given up on minis. Mark, see you next week. Mark, you know what to do if you don't hear from me by Sunday. Just shoot me an email. Dave, what do you mean? How do I know minis? You too. Mark, you too. Dave, what do you mean? How do you know minis? Oh, which ones you can trade? So if I release and we send a mini, Dave, or if I'm trading it in the trade room, then you're allowed to trade it. If we send it out, 100% you can trade it. Okay? 100%. All right. Capacity utilization. Last week we had manufacturing PMI. I'm going to make a mini out of that. I do have to do more, Dave. It takes a lot of work. And I have so many things I do that sometimes what happens, Dave, is we just wind up taking the trade in the room. As long as you come in the room, you'll be told about the trade. That's why the room is so good. Because if a mini report doesn't get done, we still have the opportunity in the room to grab the trade. If I have faith that I feel the trade's going to work. I won't take a trade if I don't have faith that I think it's got a good possibility of working. Okay. Any questions? Any other questions, folks? People are starting to peel off, so absolutely, Chantal. Kent, you too. I appreciate it. Thank you. Not enough hours in the week, Chantal. You said it. You said it. It's really, really time consuming to keep everybody safe. I mean, that's the most important thing to us, is to try to keep this safe. Yes, well, Sanji, you know why I got smacked yesterday. We're honest here. Emotional trading. And you know what, Sanji? The mistake I made yesterday, I did a lot of reflection on yesterday's trade. All I really had to do was what I know I have to do with a reversal. Just wait for it to get to the PP. Just wait for it to get to the PP on natural gas. That was the mistake I made. I traded at the high of the day yesterday because it was above the PP. I said, if it gets to the PP, it could get sucked to the high of the day. And that's exactly what happened twice. I don't have a problem with taking 2 reversals, but I took them incorrectly. All I needed to do was take 1 at the high of the day. And if that failed, then you're done. So, Sanji, at least I know in my heart what I did wrong. And I know really what I did wrong was I just traded emotionally. I mean, that's really what it was all about. Today was the exact opposite, and the results are the exact opposite. Made almost every penny of it back. 520 bucks on a jobs report is not bad. It's not bad. Yeah, ZN is dropping now, and gold is dropping now too. You know, for discretionary traders, you know, there's always an interesting trade if you like discretionary trading. When you get that big of a move out of bonds, you know, you could put your stop above the high of the day for a reversal, right? And you have a good shot at a reversal. With gold, that high of the day is a little bit too far. It's 500. It's your whole profit. It would have worked, but it's far. It's very risky. It's very risky. It's not as expensive on bonds. It's not cheap, but it's not as expensive. All right, folks. Great day. Great way to have the weekend come in with a nice profitable trade. No one lost money. Now that, at least the only, actually, I think one person had a problem with MGC. Oh, I would love that, Brian. Brian, I'll talk to you, Brian. Okay, YouTube folks, I can't imagine why you would not want to subscribe to our channel, learn about how we do things, at least give us a like. We made 520 bucks in a couple of seconds. Give us a like and sign up for our channel and hit the notification bell, and we're going to shut down on YouTube. Thanks for watching.